Welcome to Biz Dev Live with Cameron Toth, Biz D with the C. How you find the inspiration to create something new on a daily basis. You might ask, Cameron, why do how do you find a new topic to talk about every day? How do you engage people in conversation and create ways to interact with folks? How do you launch a new product? How do you find inspiration? We're going to talk about it today. Stick with me. We're going to play the Biz Dev theme, and we will be right back.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.
So getting fired up and getting into what you want to do is all about inspiration, right? How do you get inspired to take that next move, right? Motivation, inspiration can almost be the same thing, because if you're motivated, you're inspired. And if you're inspired, you're probably motivated, right? And how do we keep that inspiration and motivation going? How do we find that when we don't feel super positive and super inspired and motivated? It can be very difficult. And one of the things that I'm going to tell you right from the get-go is sometimes we're down, and you got to get yourself out of the negative headspace and get some blank space, and that will automatically, I guarantee you, get the gears twirling and get some of that motivation and inspiration going. And that can be tough right now with all the things happening in the world, but that may be the solution for you right off the get some silence, quiet the noise, and get into it. So often I find inspiration from conversations that I have. So engaging with people, conversating with people, taking part in events, writing down notes, and really getting me thinking. If you're spending a lot of your time in Netflix, and I do that as well, and Prime, we have so many different entertainment options. What we're looking at is other people's ideas and other people's information. Even if you're watching a show for like business inspiration, like Shark Tank, it can be wonderful. Learning how to pitch and sort of seeing what people are doing well and not so well, that's fantastic, but it's not really going to help you with inspiration a lot of times with your own ideas, because you're listening to other people's ideas. If you quiet yourself, get to a place where you can think, that can really allow you to process a lot of the information, and ideas will come from there, right? So the idea of, I get in the shower and I have some of my best ideas, you'll find that there, right? Yoga, meditation, getting into these places where you get outside of your head, you're not watching media, you're not distracted by other people's thoughts and comments. But for me in particular, engaging with people and really understanding their wants and needs, which again isn't something that you're going to find necessarily on a show, but if you're talking to people in your community and you're talking to people that you're servicing or people that you're networking with, you can get a lot of great ideas. You can bounce ideas off of people, see what people respond to. And I find that that's a great way to get inspired. In fact, a lot of the times when I go on at 11 a.m. every day, and I haven't thought about the topic or set a topic in advance or have an interview scheduled, the way that I come up with that day's thought, that day's topic, is from a conversation that I probably had that morning. And I think that's really important because it's relevant. It really ties into what's going on in the now. And so hopefully for people that are watching or that hear about the show, it really ties into their life and what's going on because it is topical and current and relevant, right? Things that you can do, to make sure that you're keeping your inspiration engine going. Don't give up on yourself when you can't seem to get inspired, right? It's easy to conclude, especially when you're in the doldrums, that you're just not a very motivated or talented person. The in-group, out-group inspiration study shows that you can be brought out of your doldrums under the right conditions, right? So we're talking about that, creating those right conditions so that you can find inspiration. Accept that it's okay and maybe even advisable to look to others for sources of inspiration. So that's what we've been talking about. Take a mental break to allow yourself to refocus, right? Don't force inspiration. That's going to be very difficult. Allow some quiet time, some blank space. Read. Use spontaneity to your advantage. So create moments of high pressure where you have to deliver, and that's what I've done with this show to find inspiration. I've set a deadline, so I have to come up with something by 11 a.m. every day, and that's a great way to work on your sales process. Set a timer. I'm going to get this XYZ done in this amount of time, and that really forces you to deliver and get yourself inspired. Read something. We said, right now I'm reading Scrum, which is a great book about how to get a team really working on a project and get through things quickly. The name of the book is Getting Twice the Amount of Work Done in Half the Time, right? So just really a great book. There's a lot to it. I don't want to jump into all of it now, but one of the inspirational kind of pieces of it is the idea of what have you done? What do you want to do? How, when are we going to get it done by, that kind of thing, where it's just really break it down and get it simple. And I find the simpler that you can make your plan, the simpler that you can make your routine, the more you can lay it out and write it out, the more easy it is to be inspired about whatever the next thing is and getting people on the same page. That's really exciting. And when you have excitement, usually inspiration follows. Team up with others. Realize that there are just some times in your life when you won't feel very inspired. Understand that and move through it. Just basically making sure that you're checking boxes off the list. Am I taking care of myself? Am I making sure that I'm eating right? Am I reading? Am I filling the cup with good stuff? It's funny as a parent. If you have a child, one of the best pieces of advice that I got from the doctor was, baby's cranky, crying, you have to go through the whole, don't shake the baby kind of thing. Once you've fed them, you've changed the diaper, you make sure that they're comfortable, they're crying, leave them alone, let them work it out. And you have to do that for yourselves. You've taken care of yourself, give yourself some time, it'll work through. Just make sure you're checking the boxes, doing that self-care bit, and then following best practices. Break your inspiration down into manageable pieces, right? We're talking about that. Make sure that you don't overload yourself. Don't set yourself up to fail. It's the shots, right? So if you're trying to get better at something like basketball, you have to take shots, you have to work, right? Make sure that you're not creating something that's just impossible, right? I'm going to work out, I'm going to put weights on my arms, and I'm going to force myself to make a shot. Start out with baby steps, get those easy wins, and I guarantee you that inspiration will follow. I'm really excited about talking about inspiration because I think it's one of those things that it's very easy to be on a high when you have it, but it can be really a low when you don't have it. But your greatest challenge is probably your biggest strength. Take inspiration where you find it. Was watching this morning a video, been watching Braille videos with skateboarding, where people are skating around doing amazing things on a skateboard, been excited about it. And this morning I was watching somebody who didn't have any legs below their knees, basically, and they were skateboarding and doing these amazing tricks that people that were pretty talented with two legs had a tough time doing. Just really incredible. Get fired up, push yourself, create blank space to find your focus. I guarantee you, if you check some of these boxes, you're going to find that inspiration before you know it. Please reach out to me. I love your comments and feedback. Love how I can make these videos better for you and more inspiring for you and more motivational for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.